of the Flies by William Golding is a book about isolation. I-S-O-L-A-T-I-O-N. But I'm not here to teach you how to spell. I'm here to make you think. Before I begin my lecture, let's go through a quick summary of the book. Lord of the Flies by William Golding takes place on an island somewhere in between continents during World War II. A plane assumed to be from England carrying a population of schoolboys is shot down over the island. The entirety of the story takes place in this location. William Golding brilliantly illustrates the disposition of the schoolboys as they fight the constant battle of savage nature and the horrifying climate. In order to survive isolation, they must work together. Ironically, they fail to maintain unity, and at least 2 lives are lost before they are found by a naval ship at the end of the novel. The 2 most important figures in Lord of the Flies are Ralph, the elected leader of the boys, and Jack, the leader of the hunters. Some other important characters include Piggy, the level-headed advisor to Ralph, and Simon, a child with much common sense. The climax of the story is reached when Jack, the leader of the hunters, gets into a grueling argument with Ralph, the elected leader. Because of Jack's lack of faith in being rescued, he decides to start a new society of his own. It thrives in its own individuality. Jack has given up on the idea of returning home and believing that he and the rest of the boys are going to be isolated on the island for the remainder of their lives. His feeling of separation presents immense amounts of tension between himself and Ralph. Signs of warfare and survival of the fittest are exhibited by the boys throughout the story. As a result, 2 of the most sensible and calm children, Simon and Piggy, are killed due to the lack of composure amongst the children on the island. Without an adult to lead the children, leadership becomes a question of who is willing to prove that they are the most fit to take command. It is ironic that the boys get so far consumed by their savage human nature that they become completely devoid of their original goal, to return home. In the novel, Lord of the Flies by William Golding, there is an enormous amount of symbolism exhibited by numerous objects, or symbols, per se. The rock struck Piggy a glancing blow from chin to knee. The conch exploded into 1,000 white fragments and ceased to exist. Page 167. When Piggy attempts to speak while holding the conch, Roger allows a large rock to strike him in the head, shattering the conch and ending his life, representing the end of sensible behavior and the uprising of savage disposition. Savagery is able to take over the minds and bodies of the children because of the feeling of complete isolation and lack of controlled society. The title of the book, The Lord of the Flies, is extremely symbolic in representing the beast within all the children. A beast which they fear so much to the point that it unifies them at times in ominous ways. Because there is a mutual fear of the beast, all the children work together to defend themselves against it. Unfortunately, the unity becomes dangerous when they are told this beast does not exist. And in front of Simon, the Lord of the Flies hung on his stick and grinned. Page 128. In Simon's hallucination, he converses with the dead sow's head. It is his mind playing tricks on him that causes the sow to appear living. There isn't anyone to help you, only me, and I'm the beast. The Lord of the Flies to Simon on page 132. Fancy thinking the beast was only something you could hunt down and kill? The Lord of the Flies to Simon, page 134. After this conversation, Simon realizes the beast is the savage nature that dwells within all of them. As a result, Simon intends to inform the children that there is no beast, but is killed before he can. The deaths of Simon and Piggy both are examples of the worst that can happen if there is no leadership fit enough to govern a population of people in an isolated society.